Hey there friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today we got some pretty big news about buffs coming to Remnant 2 with the Dark Horizon DLC, and these look very juicy. I'm really excited. They were shared by Ben Curitan, aka Very Tragic, from Gunfire Games, and I do like the look of these so far. First off, we have the Corrupted Savior, magazine from 40 to 50, mod drain delay from 5 seconds to 10 seconds, doubling that, which is kind of wild. I think the Corrupted Savior is already a decent weapon, but this is going to probably make it pretty insane. And then mod drain rate slightly reduced. So I do feel like this is one of those weapons that people already like. It's not really a meta option, but it is one that the people who use it currently really enjoy rocking with it. So I am curious to see if this is going to catapult it into one of the more top used guns. This is one that I don't know if a lot of people have currently, so I do think that it will be interesting if more people unlock the Corrupted Savior based upon these buffs. Nothing too crazy there, but enough, I think, to really push it into a better place. So next up, we're going to talk about the Trinity Crossbow. This is the one I'm probably the most excited about, just because I wanted to love this gun so much, but it was really bad when it first launched, in my opinion. It just has not ever been a weapon that I loved using, even though I really wanted to. So damage increased from 44 to 48, or 132 to 144. Now, the magazine increased from 18 to 24, reserves increased from 90 to 96, and increased the reload speed slightly. Now, all of this combines to really make this a potentially viable option, especially with certain mods that could really juice this up as well. So I do hope that this ends up being a weapon that I toss into my rotation, because it looks really cool. I think having a triple shooting crossbow is something that sounds very fun and very unique compared to some of the other weapons we have in the game. So if this can be strong enough, not necessarily the strongest thing in the game, but if it can be absolutely viable, then I will use this very consistently. And I hope that's the case. I really want this buff to be enough to really juice it up, so that way we can experiment with it a little bit more, and hopefully find some mod combinations that allow us to really have this thing shine going forward, because I really want that. Obviously, I'm really excited about the new weapons coming with the Dark Horizon, but I'm just as excited to revisit some old weapons that we've already tested out and not really loved as much as we could have. Next, we have the Alpha Omega. Now, this is one of the longest running underwhelming weapons, in my opinion. It's not bad necessarily, in my opinion, but I don't feel like it's as good as I would have liked it to be ever. It's a pretty mid option. I think that's where it falls for the most part. Some people will disagree with that, and that's perfectly fine, but I've never found anything special about this personally. So for this one, this has a bunch of buffs. Increased RPS from 6.89 to 7.42, increased charge buff decay from 1.5 to 3.5, change shots required to max speed from 3 to 5, default charge speed max 0.25, minimum 0.01 unchanged, increased beta ray base damage from 225 to 275. Note, can now be reloaded without losing charges. That last bit of information is where I think this is going to see the most benefit, to be honest, because having those charges banked while reloading, I think, could really change the playstyle you use Alpha Omega with, and I think that's really cool, and I hope it's as effective as it sounds. Now, whether this, again, is going to be a meta option or not doesn't matter to me. I'm just glad they're trying to make it more viable, so that way we have more build diversity, because it does feel like at times the game struggles a little bit with certain things being insanely strong and everything else lagging a little bit behind. You'll see it after the last DLC. The Monolith was a dominant weapon, and pretty much everyone was running it because nothing else was really competitive, especially when you were playing some co-op gameplay. So I hope that isn't the case going forward, and we can actually see a lot more of these weapons challenging, especially because we know that free mode is coming out with the new DLC that should allow for some build diversity if it's really what we expect it to be. Now, finally, we have the Polygon. Now, this is a weapon that was very difficult to obtain. Really interesting weapon overall. I've used it a little bit. I never really enjoyed it personally. It was more of a meme weapon than anything, in my opinion, but now we have some pretty sizable buffs. Increase reload buff duration from 5 seconds to 10 seconds, double. Increase reload buff lock duration from 5 to 10 seconds. Increase shotgun fire rate from 1.6 to 1.75. Doesn't sound like a lot, but could be enough to really make it a bit better. Reduce rifle and shotgun recoil. Reduce shotgun spread. So essentially, this is going to be significantly better than it was previously. And it is a weapon that requires a certain playstyle. And so if you're going to have a weapon that is not as easy to use, requires potentially a higher skill gap, you would hope that the top end performance of that would be very, very good. Unfortunately, with the Polygon, that just wasn't the case. Its top end was not as high as some of the other weapons in the game, and so because of that, it wasn't really fun to use compared to other options. And I really do feel like there is a room to grow with this thing, and I hope we get it to a place where I want to use this all the time and really learn the pattern of using it correctly, so that way it can be very, very good, very powerful, very viable. So again, these are four weapons that I really look forward to using once the new expansion does drop. I'm going to try all of them in different builds. If you guys have started theory crafting any builds around these weapons and you want to share them with me and have me test them out, let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to jump back into the game before the new expansion starts. I've taken a bit of a break as we've done pretty much everything there is to do, but now it'll be a perfect time to really dive back in, see what's in store for us, get back used to the game a little bit, and also make sure that we have everything we need for the new expansion when it does drop, because there's going to be a lot going on there, and we want to have our builds ready to go for that new game mode that they're probably going to talk about in the near future. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited about any of these four weapons? Which one are you most excited about? Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more Remnant 2 content. I'm really going to ramp it up on the channel here in the next few weeks leading up to the DLCs. Stay tuned for that. My name is JoPa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.